RodneyStreet. Are you ready for another STEAM lesson? Today we're going to be making homemade clay that will then turn into a flower bowl for spring. Now, I need you to ask your parents to help you for the next part, because in order to make the clay, it's going to have to be on the stove top. So please go get your parents and show them the ingredients list that I'll put on next, and you guys can get started making the clay. First, you'll need 1 cup of pure cornstarch. Then 2 cups of baking soda. Then you're going to mix the powders together. And go ahead and add 1.5 cups of water. Turn your stove on medium heat. Then stir. It will take about 8 to 10 minutes for this to start to become clay-like consistency. For a while there, the mixture will feel like it's not really doing anything, but then all of a sudden, it will become very thick as it starts to collect together, creating this clay-like substance. Parents, while you're doing this, you could have your student go ahead and get a rag or cloth and soak it in cold water, because as soon as this becomes a ball of clay, we're going to wrap it tightly in a cold cloth. When you get about to the consistency of mashed potatoes, you're going to want to scoop it out into a cold rag. Bind it up tightly into a ball like this and let it cool. Let's get some inspiration for our flower bowls. I like to grow all kinds of flowers. Notice the different patterns and varieties and colors. I really like this one because it has contrast. It uses dark and light to create a design. You could maybe even add a little clay bowl in the middle of your flower that resembles a daffodil. Look at these pretty blue ones. You could use contrast a little bit stronger than the purple ones by adding dark all the way around except for a small circle in the middle of light. Maybe you want to add texture to your bowl to look like lots of little flowers. Now that we have some inspiration for our flower bowls, you could even look up some pictures online, or maybe you have flowers in your home that you really like. Whatever you find that you're interested in, use that to inspire your clay sculpture. Once your clay is cool, go ahead and play with it. Roll it into a ball. It shouldn't stick on your fingers at all, and if it does, then it's not cool enough. You need to wait a little bit longer. Now you can get a bowl and break off a section from the clay. Roll it. Then we're going to be shaping it into a petal. Everybody's petals can look differently. Just think about a flower, maybe look up a picture as a reference. And you're going to place the part that attaches to the center toward the center of the bowl and push it up to trace the edge of the bowl. Get another section the same size and do the same thing. Another way you can make this flower is by not destroying the center and smushing it all together, but by keeping the overlapping and just lightly pressing to the layer that you made before. However you decide to make your flower, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're using the bowl shape to create a flower bowl. Kind of like the daffodils that we looked for inspiration, I'm going to make a little bowl in the center of my flower. I'm going to take a ball that I rolled and start to push down and around the sides. And I'm going to pinch layers together to make it look folded. And smooth the sides down so it attaches. Now you can take something spiky like a toothpick or a pen and you can start to add designs in it. Either think about a picture of a flower from reference and use that to think of your design, or if you want to be more abstract, you can add a pattern on every single petal that's different. And a pattern is basically an image that repeats itself. So if I wanted to do a pattern here and I picked polka dots, I would just keep repeating on this same petal. Now you can add the color. Let's start to think about areas where we want to have contrast. Like use your dark colors like dark purple toward the middle and maybe light colors on the outside. Maybe you want to do a gradient and blend. Be careful not to drag your marker into the flower too much or it will pick up parts of the clay. But if you just do it gently on top and dab it like this, it should be fine. Since you're working with a sculpture, you're going to want to turn it every so often to see all of the sides. Because what you're working with is 3D, you want to work 3D as well, not just the one side that's facing you. There you have it. Now it's time to let it dry. You're probably going to need to wait overnight. And then in the morning you can see how your bowl looks. As we wait for this to dry, let's remember some of the concepts we went over. We went over that when you're making a sculpture, you need to turn it and look at all sides. Because the object is 3D, you need to treat it that way. We also talked about contrast in the flowers that we saw outside, how things that are darker make things that are lighter look more attractive. They make them pop. That's contrast. I hope that you really enjoyed this project today. If you did, please go ahead and email me a picture at indiana@rstta.org, and you could also post a picture online and hashtag RSTTA STEAM.